Hey everybody, it's me, Merry Christmas. It's Brian Vaughn, Director of Powerhouse Percussive Dance and Director of Clogger on YouTube. Today we're going to be doing part 3, our final section of our interview with Bonnie and Brian Steele from Utah, so stay tuned. Well, hopefully you tuned in last month for parts 1 and 2 of Bonnie and Brian Steele's interview, and if you did, or if you've ever met them, you'll know what a great influence they've had on clogging and continue to have on clogging. Today we're going to do our last section of the interview. We're going to chit-chat a little bit about why their program was such a success. And if you need any dance supplies, I want to just throw this out there. Bonnie Steele still runs a hugely successful, with amazing resources, dance supply store. And that dance supply store is not just for clogging and clogging shoes, it's also for drill and jazz, cheerleading. She does a great job. It's called Backstage Dancewear. Look it up online, or you can message me for the details. Enjoy the interview with Bonnie and Brian Steele. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done it already, subscribe to my channel right now for more great clogging content. Contests, we gave away $500 last month, $50 so far this month. Contests, TV show videos, instruction videos, interviews, lots of great stuff, and there's just going to be more coming in 2021, so subscribe. All right, we're back. It's part 3. We're in our third and final part of my conversation with just two amazing people. They're clogging legends. They're beautiful people. Brian and Bonnie Steele, directors of the Steele family Cloggers, and they also have Backstage Dancewear, which is a huge dancewear company
which
here
is
in Utah.
now Empire Active.
Empire Active, that's right.
One of the things that made a difference for us too is that we had a program of achievement where people would have to do certain amount of practice, that they would have to do certain events and take certain places.
You have to perform, you have to make up a step, you have to do a duet.
Have to do a freestyle.
Yes. And then you would get ribbons, different color ribbons as you would do that. And then one of the first things that you would earn are your white shoes.
Yes, I still have my first white shoes, and someday when I pass on, I'm getting buried in those.
Oh.
Like, I saved those. They're all torn up because I wore them so long.
I put one of our Hee Haw trophies into Grant's.
Yeah. I was thinking about Grant Pettengill, my duet partner, and one of the main components of the magic that was Steele Family Cloggers, passed away last year, 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago. And I was thinking about him on the way down, and he was like losing a brother, right? Like he just was a beautiful
son.
Yeah.
We would drive in the Wild West. We got this.
Our van.
We bought this van.
I'll put a picture on.
We were so
we bought
proud
this
of
van because we wanted it to be so cool. And got it all striped up and got the name on it. It was so much fun.
It was great.
And we would take that van and
load up the kids.
I don't know if the parents of the kids knew what we were doing.
This is before seatbelts.
Yeah,
but
seatbelts.
we would put the van seats down. It was like a bed.
Yep.
And then 6 or 7 people would be back
Some
there,
of
and
us
we're
would be on the
driving.
floor.
We're driving through the night.
Brian,
It was
heels,
crazy.
long legs, and
Yeah.
everyone's Brian, your
Yeah.
legs.
And then somebody had to be Oscar in the van, and Oscar was the person who had to collect all the garbage every time we stopped.
And chocolate was not allowed in the van.
That's right, that's right.
And
Except
every
for
time
Bonnie.
we would stop, everybody was required to do 10 times the team, 10
Absolutely.
times their duet, 10
And we
times
did
their
it.
freestyle.
Yes,
You know what?
they
There-
did.
I
We
think-
were
Get
brutal.
back in with
I don't
help.
think there was an assignment you gave us
Yeah.
that I didn't do and then do extra, because what you guys gave me through clogging was something that everybody might. I don't even think everybody has that kind of experience, but there's a lot of people that might use football to change their life or whatever. But
Yes,
for
very
whatever
similar
reason,
experiences.
what you guys gave me through clogging was a life changer. It took me from
It was a life changer for us.
low self-esteem and all this stuff to the amazing man I am today, right?
Exactly.
No, but it's true. And so if you guys said to do it, I did it. I trusted you, and I threw, and I think all of us did. We threw ourselves behind you, and we're like, we knew you had the
You
right
were all
vision.
good kids.
You
were
were
very
talking
lucky.
about, was it our third, the precision
It was
at
the
Hee Haw?
precision.
Fireball.
Yeah, Fireball, and
Yes.
we went into, they had, as most people probably know, they had age division winners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the first time at Hee Haw, we took second place in an age division,
It was so
Do you
in
remember?
which we
tense.
actually won. And
Yes.
we and that night, because we had the finals the next day.
Hotel
Let me
parking
just say
lot.
this. I just want to make sure it's clear. So Hee Haw, every year, only the first place winner went on to the overall. Until this, for whatever reason, 4th year of the competition that I went, 4th year, 1988.
They took first through third?
They took first and second.
Oh, first and second.
And we took second in that day.
We did. I guess otherwise we would have been gone. We
Yeah,
wouldn't have
that's
been
right.
even
You wouldn't have
competing.
been able to compete.
So I knew, because the team that we were competing against was Jay Ledford's team, and they're just amazing.
Amazing.
They're
Jay
just
Ledford.
incredible, and they easily could have beat us.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, we got to fix the dance. And the parents went crazy because we had some younger
Changing
kids.
choreography the night before in a hotel parking lot.
Of a dance, we
Yes.
didn't work on our dance for 2 months. We worked on it for 10 months.
Yes.
Solid marathon practices. So it wasn't something we just
Perfection.
like winged.
Yes.
Like it was
Yeah,
endurance
no, it was.
and technical skill and artistic presentation, polished. And Brian was like, "Hey, let's change it."
We're not going to win, obviously.
And I don't think
wouldn't have
Brian
won.
said,
We took
"Hey, let's
second.
change
No,
it."
I know,
Brian
I know.
said,
We're
"We're changing
changing
it
it."
because
Yeah.
we didn't win, and we have to win." And the parents gave me so much grief.
We
And
had to tell them to leave.
I turned to them and I said, "Listen, had we won 3 times?" I
Yes.
said, "We won
Yes.
Hee Haw 3 times. I think we know what we're doing."
Yeah.
And the kids, obviously, I don't
We had
think
the
we
best
weren't
kids.
dancing then, were we? Were
Bonnie,
we?
Yes.
Bonnie was.
I wasn't though, was I? No, I don't think I was dancing.
You were dancing?
Yeah, because
I
I
was
couldn't
dancing.
have.
I
I
did
couldn't
very
have
well.
done this. I was never that good.
Yeah.
And the level of dancing, and especially the level of being able to learn and then retain
I can't
and not
believe we
freak
did it.
out
Yeah.
on stage.
And it really. So the next day when we did the routine, and you can.
By the way,
this-
it was about a third of the routine. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
lot
It
of
was
the
the
routine.
last third, and this was a 3-minute routine, so we changed at least a minute of it. And this routine is fast. And if you look at my YouTube channel and look up Steele Family Cloggers Precision 1988, you can see there's a before one and there's an after one. And
Oh,
you
do
can
you
see,
have both?
you can see the differences. So in the
That's
first one we did all this
awesome.
stuff. I just watched the first one yesterday or 3 days ago
Wow.
for the first time. But you can see it was a dramatic change, and it looked better. You were right.
Oh, there was no question. It looked better.
We had
and it
some
was,
people contest it because they thought it was unfair that we changed the routine.
Why?
Do you remember that?
I don't
I
even
didn't know
remember
that.
that.
Oh, I do.
Well, we'll talk about off camera who
Yeah.
I think it was.
Well, but
Here's
it's
the
okay.
thing.
But it was the
It's
dance.
okay.
The level of talent we had back then,
Our
and
dancers
even
were
the level of the
fabulous.
talent they have now. Like my two, Michael and Jessica, my kids,
Phenomenal.
they are such incredible dancers, and Tuckers. I mean, there's so many now.
Yeah.
That
New Year's.
what we did, they could do every day of the week. They could learn the whole dance in one day and not
And
make a
be
mistake
perfect.
because they've been on stage
Yeah.
so
Right,
much. They're-
but here's
the
the
very
thing.
beginning.
Just like with everything, they couldn't have done that without what we did.
Yeah,
there's
And all that couldn't
You're-
be doing what
you're
they're
absolutely
doing
right.
without what Still
No
Family did.
question.
I was talking with Mike Curtis because we did a conversation, and I think the most culturally significant thing that happened to clogging was all that winning second place on America's Got Talent.
That was amazing.
Because
Yeah.
it Hee Haw didn't break cultural boundaries, but it took clogging to a new level.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I
Like, we
think
were
it
still
made
clogging.
it so that all that could do that.
Absolutely.
That is.
Because
And just
it
Yeah.
increased, as I said, it was an evolving art form, and it became such a high level of dancing that they could go and people would really pay attention to the kind of dancing because their skill level is through the roof. They and the Whittiers.
Clogging before Hee Haw, what was I going to say? I don't think cloggers really thought of it as an art form, and I don't even think through the Hee Haw years because
No, I
here
think they thought of it.
I think it was fun.
Yeah.
And then you get these people. This is when I started Powerhouse too. I started because all these cloggers that I knew that were quitting and never clogging again because there was nowhere to clog. And I was like, I want people to keep. I want them to see what we're doing, and I want it to be respected as a legitimate art form. And I've been really successful. I've hired over 150 amazing dancers over the years.
My goodness.
And
That's incredible.
and I think people now, because of a lot of what I do in taking clogging to communities all over and all the TV shows I've done, all that's done, what people are doing, they see it as an art form now. And that's what the biggest thing all that did for clogging was take it to that
Next
level
level.
on
It's
a
true.
national, worldwide
Yeah.
stage.
But again, I think it's so important, and unfortunately, I'm so glad you're doing this because there are a lot of people who made made it possible for all that to do it.
Absolutely.
Like, for
and
example,
Mike says
do you
that
know,
too.
do you know Burton Edwards?
Yeah, he was the first rock star of
Yeah.
clogging. Burton.
He was incredible,
was.
and there would be no all that if there weren't Burton Edwards.
That's right. And
And
you
then
know who
Bobby
taught?
Revis.
You know who taught Mike Curtis?
Who?
Grant Montgomery.
Oh yeah, see,
So
same.
it's
Yeah.
there. Without the Hee Haw thing, that wouldn't have happened. So it's just building. So one of the people I want to interview on my channel is ShareWhittier. So let's talk about Whittear and the Whittear Sisters,
Yeah,
who
they're amazing.
Whittear, like me, has had a unique opportunity to follow clogging through the years
Yeah.
as a performer. She was there in the 80s and she's there now.
She was a shout out to Jen. I mean, she learned so much from Jen, which Jen was amazing. But there was a story about Whittear that is so indicative of why the Fab Five girls are so good. Why Whittear
Fab
is so
Five are
good.
the
The
sisters,
five
the
sisters.
Whittear
Yes.
sisters.
But Whittear at one of the practices was not able to come to a performance that we were doing that weekend.
Okay.
And so they had to reset the dance without her in it. And Jen said, Whittear, you can go over and sit down and not worry about it while we're doing this, or just mark it or whatever. She danced harder than those that were going to be dancing that weekend.
Yeah.
She danced her little guts out. So she never, ever did step through, just kind of getting through the motions, 110% every minute of every practice.
You know what else is interesting about Whittear? She is as nice as she comes. I want to thank Bonnie and Bryan Steele for sitting down with me for this conversation. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more great clogging content, everybody. Contests, interviews, step instructional videos, and more. Have a great day. Subscribe.